Because I was just thinking, um, being a gray shadow warrior. Oh, do you want me to switch up then? Yeah, if it's an all gray campaign, then we can adjust. That'd be kind of iconic.
Switch my plan out. Hello and welcome to Derp Derp channel. Today we're just going through all the different anime D&D races and class choices. We'll eventually be starting a campaign. This is just kind of part one of a session 0, and I figured might as well stream it. You said gray shadow warrior.
That's the plan, yeah.
In case of changes, I can also give you the ones that are in the other book that I didn't show you.
I'm gonna be honest. Shadow Warrior seems pretty well suited to me, so I don't like. If you want, you're welcome to run through them. If other people, especially like if you're gonna run through it for other people, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be the species, but I can just name them off.
Yeah, that works.
We have an arbolin, which is essentially a sentient tree. Centaur, which I don't have to explain what that is. Everybody knows a centaur. A crowd goblin. Which are fiend goblin golem hybrids. That is what a crowd goblin looks like. I'm showing on my stream. Then we have a dampier, which is another one that a lot of people know what it is. A form of a human, half vampire. Usually born vampires, basically. Instead of turned. An effigy, which is machine folk.
Machine folk? That's racist.
So basically like androids, cyborgs.
I was making a joke.
More made out of just pure machine without the human aspect. Then we have the Facetid, which are basically a humanoid elemental.
No, never.
Hello, Welker. I'll go through these more in depth for you, Elker. I'm just going through because David pretty much has an idea of what he wants to make.
Okay. I'll make it quick. Is it raining out there?
Then we have the Karaki, which are octopus humans, or humanoid octopuses. Or cephalopods is what humanoid cephalopods is what it says in the book. Then we have the Lorelei, which are like another form of elves. Then we have the Manti, which are mantis people, humanoid mantises. Then we have the Nuki, which are raccoon people. Then we have the Obake. Doesn't really say much about the Obake that I can really explain. Other than that, there are non-binary. Or basically what it says is in their natural state, Obake resemble hairless, smooth-featured humans in every color of the rainbow. Trying to see if it gives a better description somewhere. Yeah, it really doesn't. I think that it's kind of like spirits, I think. Then we have the Rainari, which are fox human or humanoid foxes. Then we have the Ukuma, which are bear folk. Then the Yokai, which are demon folk. And that is it for this part. And the extra classes, just exemplar.
Yeah, it's really quick. It's raining. I mean, nuisance drizzle. Oh, I'm gonna go longer. I'm good. I'm gonna head up. So. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess apparently there was something going on.
completely forgot. I was just like, okay, do this, get off here. So, yeah, let me get you guys a hug.
Bear hug.
Okay.
Sorry, last thing I heard was, let me give you guys a hug. Then nothing.
Or that, David, that is pretty much because you just wanted to know, or I was just going to give you the extra species in case if you wanted to change it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yep.
I'm good sticking to gray unless if everyone else is doing gray, then I'll review and switch it up. But
I can start going through the others since everybody's on here now. I just noticed you're here, Devin.
Yeah, I've been over there.
I didn't hear your opener. That's why. Hey, we're just going through classes and races so you guys can get an idea of your character, what you want to make. We'll make them in a couple weeks.
Would you mind sending me a link for classes and races? That way I can take an in-depth look with ops.
There is a PDF for the main book, but there isn't like a. I don't know if you have to pay for it.
I found a free one.
Yeah, Devin can send it to you then.
I appreciate it, Devin.
But the extra book I have, there is not a PDF for. To my knowledge. The full Stavia. Or I also forgot a few races, but we can go through them once. I'll start from the beginning. I'm just going to read the opening paragraph for each one, and I can go in more depth. First one, we have the Archfiend. Towering up to 30 feet tall and weighing up to an incredible 15 tons, an Archfiend can be a terrifying sight to behold for those unaccustomed to their harsh appearance. Their thick, leathery skin ranges in hues on the blue, black, brown spectrum and is pulled taut over rippling muscles that emphasize their incredible powers. Many Archfiends carve out their subterranean homes themselves using their innate tunneling abilities. As a greater demon from the material plane, Archfiends can exert minor magical control over the minor brethren to carry out their bidding. You obviously won't start out as that strong. You'll start out level 1.
thank you for clarifying that, by the way. I meant to ask what level we were starting this campaign at.
There are some that it mentions that each race would be best as a class. It's not required. You can be whatever class you want. It's just the recommended. But for Archfiend, it recommends Hunter, Shadow Warrior, and Warder. Then we have the Asrai, which are basically fairies. They resemble beautiful humans in most ways except for their small feathered wings that cause many people who see one to believe they are angelic creatures. They have an inherent connection to the natural world that guides their daily life and were created by the planet goddess itself to serve as stewards of the land and leaders of the peoples. Astrai typically live in pastoral forest societies alongside elves and other woodland creatures, and are peaceful folk that are always eager to help those in need. Those Astrai that decide on a life of adventure instead are sometimes shunned by their tiny community for acting violently and out of character. Though there has always been a role for Astrai with marital talent or martial talents. I read that as marital, and that's two completely different words. Marital and martial. They tend to favor the bender, dynamic spellbinder, magical girl guy, or pet monster trainer. Then we have the blink beasts. They are often feared and misunderstood, but they are rarely respected. They are natives of the bloom and insidious realm of fierce trees and murderous beasts, and survive on their rapid teleportation and mastery of plant life. In spite of their power, blink beasts elicit contempt from many sylvan demonic woodland creatures due to their binary nature. They are both beast and human. Their skin tones range across the rainbow spectrum from purple to red and shift in patches from flesh to wood. They favor hunter, ninja, and warder. We'll go get to the classes once I go through all the races, but I figured that easy because if you figure out what race, then you can, when I'm telling you what they favor, you can then decide, unless if you want to do something different. Then we have the Demon Naga, which I'm sure if you know anime and D&D, already know what that is. Snake people. Created as a magical fusion between a Naga serpent and summoned flame demon over a millennium ago, Demon Naga can measure up to 16 feet from horns to tail. They comfortably project a height of up to 7 to 8 feet tall, with their tail trailing behind for balance and attacks. Their scaly hide, fearsome horns, and chiseled features make for an impressive sight. The lines of flame that radiate from their torso, eyes, and mouth complete their terrifying visage. Demon Naga's hairless skin tones tend towards the muted browns and greens, though red and purple hues are also possible. They favor the broker, pet monster trainer, and psionicist classes. I was wrong. The Astrai are elves, because I forgot there is a fairy class or race. Fairies are minute, pixie-like sprites that maintain a psychic connection to the wild. They are usually no more than 8 inches tall, but are surprisingly proud and charismatic for their stature. They fly rather quickly for their size on shimmering wings, which they vastly prefer to walk in. Many are skilled at weaving webs of deception, using their control of light to fool unsuspecting targets. They sometimes have animal companions as well. Most fairies are good and honorable by nature, but dark forces have corrupted some. The humanoids' despoiling of their wilderness lairs has angered others. They favor adventurer, dynamic spellbinder, and psionicist. Then we have the race that 2 people have already decided to make, the Greys. David and Mike are planning on making Greys. The Grey are an advanced spacefaring race who expand their knowledge by traveling between planets and gathering both information and samples. They vary in height from 4 to 6 feet tall, with large almond eyes, inverted teardrop head, and hairless gray skin. Over 2 centuries ago, a gray science vessel encountered a space-time anomaly that transported them to the fantasy world they now inhabit, leaving them stranded with none of their ship equipment. Over numerous decades, the Grey have settled into their new home world and spread throughout many civilizations across several continents. None of the original stranded Grey are still alive, though their galactic legacy is remembered by their descendants. They favor classes that make use of their intelligence, so dynamic spellbinder, psionicist, and tech knight. Then we have 2 that self-explanatory, half dragon and half troll. Do I need to go through those?
No, you're good.
The half dragon favor ninja, samurai, and shadow warrior.
That guy threw a
And the half trolls favor bender, dynamic, spellbinder, and magical girl or guy. Then we have the Hud, or however you pronounce that, H-A-U-D. They are an intelligent and aggressive race with both reptilian and serpentine traits. They favor warm, swampy habitats that they build into comfortable homes and gathering grounds. They are less primitive than their lizard folk cousins and tend to congregate in small societal pockets based on democracy and rationality. Not might makes right. Their sharp claws and balancing tails help them react quickly in combat, which they use to their deadly advantage. They favor adventurer, hunter, and warder. Then we have the Kodama. Kodamas are tiny natural tree spirits that stand just over a foot tall, with humanoid bodies, pale white skin, enlarged heads, and bulbous rather than delicate features. Their connection with the natural environment grants them numerous talents, including the ability to change into liquid, gas, or incorporeal states as well at will. Kodama can also peer briefly into the past, cure wounds, and banish beings to other dimensions. In the natural wilds, they form small tribal groups with other Kodama for mutual companionship. They're also kind of your generic tree spirit for like anime, or generic spirits, how they look. They favor broker, magical girl or guy, or pet monster trainer. Then we have the Nekojin, which is probably the race I'll be playing with your campaign, Devin.
Okay.
They are humanoids with large cat ears, a tail, and some feline facial features and behavioral traits. Some have some fur as well, with colors and textures as diverse as actual felines, though it might only cover a portion of the body. It is unclear if a human and a cat were genetically fused in the laboratory, if they mixed during an evolutionary process, or if they are simply a separate species. The majority of scholars support the last supposition. Most cat people in anime tend to be female, very genki, which means highly energetic and cheerful, and extremely agile. Since I know, Mike, you probably have never heard that term before, that's why I gave you the meaning.
What, Genki?
Yeah.
I remember that from Saints Row game.
It's actually an anime term.
Genki, shoot that thing.
The Nekojin favor the Bender, Broker, and Tech Knight classes. Then we have the Parasite, which this form-changing species require host bodies with which to bond, and consequently a second race is assigned to reflect this dual identity. These oily black parasites live within their host and constantly struggle for dominance and control of its body. Once bonded, a parasite grants several combat and survival abilities to its host, including stretching and reforming limbs into deadly sharp weapons. Parasites are immune to electricity but have a weakness to loud sounds, which disrupt their malleability and control over their host. Parasites reproduce through asexual binary fusion independently from their host's procreation methods.
Whoa. Slow down, there's kids watching. Asexual reproduction.
Essentially, they're kind of a combination of the symbiotes from Marvel and the aliens from the anime Parasite the Maxim. At least that's how I see it.
What about the Goa'uld?
The what?
The Goa'uld from Stargate? SG-1?
We'll get to it. If it's in here, we'll get to it. The parasites favor hunter, ninja, and samurai.
And the interesting thing is a parasite gets an extra race.
Yep. Because they take you get, or they take over whatever race. So it's, yeah, whatever race. So if you choose a parasite, you can choose another race as well.
That's actually what I'm thinking.
Then we have two others I can probably skim through. A satyr. Everybody knows what satyrs are, I assume. I'm waiting for responses.
No response means move on.
Move on would be going through it, because that was the question. Playful satyrs with their human torsos and goat lower halves make these traditional homelands in isolated mountainous regions. Their natural speed, hardiness, and leaping prowess help them thrive in places where other folks would struggle. While they are fun-loving people, most satyrs have learned to keep to themselves to avoid conflict with goblins and humans. They favor dynamic spellbinder, magical girl and guy, and pet monster trainer. And the other one I thought we can skip, but I'll go through unless if everybody says skip. Slime.
Talk about the slime.
These intelligent drops of dense goo are typically the size of a wine cask and the shape of a teardrop or onion, though some unusual slimes are as small as a thimble or as large as a tavern. Although some slimes have small wings and can fly, most are wingless and scoot merrily through the ground. Slimes are not as fluid as they seem. They can be caged if the bars are packed close together. There are dozens of slime varieties, and each subrace has a distinct magical ability. According to its color, most slime civilizations of villages and towns are composed of a monochromatic population, all blue, all red, all copper, etc., etc. Those polychrome towns are not unique. Though polychrome towns are not unique. They favor adventurer, broker, and warder. That's all the races we have for the man book. I'll go through the extra book and then we'll go through the classes.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
Has everyone decided on their race yet?
I decided on part 1 of my race. Part 2 is I'm figuring out.
So you start with 80 discretionary points, from what I'm understanding, from reading this?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
At least as far as I know, I haven't really read much into the rules. I'm waiting until we're closer to start. Because I don't want to overload my brain.
Okay, so ability scores apply to the all discretionary points you take. Okay. That's gonna be interesting. Are we gonna start? At what level are we starting at?
1.
Okay. That was good to know.
Because I plan to have everybody be isekai. That's why I wanted everybody to come up with just kind of a minor character for our world. Can be any century, can be Stone Age for all I care, and just like an occupation for them, just so I can figure out, make a weird death for you.
I thought of one last night.
And I completely forgot.
Oh, do you want me to spell it?
No,
I'm tell you here.
tell me later.
Okay.
And remind me, are we playing on something? If I'm just like, if I'm gonna start like putting a character together, I don't want to do it on one software and then be like, oh,
Considering that this is completely special with race and everything, it's probably gonna have to be, it doesn't matter. It probably won't matter.
okay.
That's kind of we're going to put on cocaine or crack. I hear the DM is going to give us the drugs that we need to be on while we're playing. However, I have not received such drugs yet. I'm still waiting. My tea has finally started kicking in. Wow, okay.
Hey, this book first starts out with just some subspecies. Like there's a Dragonborn Crucible, which basically just depends on if they came from a certain mountain range or not. Trying to see if there's any more. Then they get a bonus land at a higher level. Yeah, that's pretty much all it says. Doesn't give preferred class, but I assume it's the same as a regular Dragonborn. Then we have a Geardorf. Because along with all these extra races and classes, you can always just choose a standard D&D race or class. They are different compared to regular D&D, but they are available in the books. Geardorf, while there are dwarf clans that do not welcome the age of steam and steel, most embrace their role as Prostavia. Basically, the world, I didn't get into it, the world we'll be playing in is called Prostavia.
Prostavia.
Their role as Prostavia as masters of engineering. Geardorf strongholds are, by their world standards, marvels of urban development. Most Geardorfs enjoy the benefits of climate control, indoor plumbing, and waste disposal systems. They have both gaslight and arc lights, though the latter are expensive luxuries outside machine shops. And once again, there's no preferred class. Then we have the Dawn Elves, which are as ancient as the Astra and the Dragonkin. Most feel this burden with keen sorrow, watching with ageless regret as younger folk grow old and perish among them. The evil of Frost Elves keeps other Dawn Elves engaged with Frostavian civilization. None of this makes Dawn Elf society dour. Between inherent magic liberating them from most chores and no need for sleep, they have endless hours to share life's many joys. Most feel ennui they call twilight if they lose too many loved ones to age or violence. Twilight usually takes Dawn Elves sometime during their second millennia of life, and most choose to return to the Fate Lands on their own terms. Those who survive for more than 3,000 years tend to remain on Fostavia. I believe that the Fate Lands are kind of like Lord of the Rings. I forgot what that was called, that they go to in the end.
Mordor?
No, where like all the elves go and Frodo. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
I believe it's like that for the Dawn Elves.
Guess it's time to watch Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. I got 12 hours to kill.
Next, we have the Earth Gnomes.
Earth Gnomes.
They have a natural affinity for their namesake. Each is capable of controlling the land to a small degree. Together, Earth Gnomes can perform miracles of farming and construction, making gnome communities central to their society. Most other folk welcome them as neighbors, given their tendencies. They are just as dangerous in groups as they are helpful. However, angry Earth Gnomes can literally undermine most settlements before the enemies can react. And this one does have some preferred class of pet monster trainer. Then we have wisp halflings, who have an inherent magic of their own but pay a higher price than most. They possess extraordinary luck and the power to store decent amounts of material in personal wisp pockets. Face space, most wisp halflings keep large stocks of food in their pocket dimensions to feed their endless hunger. They tend to be extremely thin. A wisp halfling who appears well-fed is settled and wealthy. And they tend to favor Tech Knight just because the suits get their attention and draw them to joining the Order of the Tech Knights. Then we have Root Orcs. They are strong and hardy folk with an affinity for plant magic. They have been stout allies of the elves and dwarves since the Nox War, which is something we'd get into probably within the campaign. They seem to have limitless patience at times, given how often Lucian propagandists call them half-orcs in comparison to their Nox poison counterparts. Perhaps the Empire does this because root orc human hybrids favor their orc parent even more strongly than hybrids of Dawn-Elf human ancestry. No curse haunts root orcs, no matter what Imperial villains from Azram or Frostwind might claim to the contrary. I know most of that's going over everybody's heads because it's all lore of the campaign. And there's no recommended class. But they recommend the same as half-orcs. Then we have a Mokroth Tiefling. Zumuk spawned Mokroth Tieflings at the beginning of the Soulstar War to serve as shock troops. They turned on their creator early in the conflict when Erlen II Sophia welcomed them to Quesia. They settled in the lands of Volcanic East. Their principality has been one of Quesia's cornerstones, and all the ages since. Mokroth Tieflings have since spread across Postavia to settle in nearly every land. Significant numbers fight Nagarons, Nox hordes, and keep Quesia's forges alight. Again, that's the last of the subspecies.
Yay.
And now we have the non-subspecies, the ones I was briefly going with over with David. And we might not get to the classes just because I'd like to be done by 1 so I can eat before work.
We don't know what it anyway, so.
We can try again tomorrow, or we can do classes tomorrow. I work at 2 again tomorrow, so.
Whatever.
Okay, first we have the Arbalans. Arbalans are distant cousins of Kodama as sentient plant folk. They resemble a cross between a human and a collection of twisted vines, usually with bright green skin and solid brown or black eyes. Every Arbalan is born with a natural capacity for magic that creates balance Though each manifests this talent in a different way, our balance sages explain that balance is not meant to be some static absolute, but dynamic coexistence with the universe. After all, absolute order or harmony is not balanced, or is not, balanced. This does not stop villainous Arbalans from abusing their power. Virtuous Arbalans take great pleasure in stopping them to serve genuine balance. So it's a race all about balance. They favor adventurer, dynamic spellbinder, magical girl guy, druid, and sorcerer. There are some rare isekai students, pet monster trainers, and striders. Then we have the centaurs, which is one that I know that I won't have to go much into. Half human, half horse. They favor hunter, shadow warrior, warder, barbarian, and monk.
Shadow Warrior.
Rare classes are ninja, rogue, and tech knight. Then we have the car goblin.
Car goblins.
Zumax, fiend elite, created many goblin golem hybrids to be living anti-magic weapons. Much to their surprise, these car goblins were resistant to knocks. Most defected, and they have been valued folk across the world ever since. The average goblin is a strong and resilient figure with a natural talent for mayhem. Their arcane origin allows them to weaken nearby magical sources within 30 feet, affecting friend and foe alike. Their ability is unpredictable, though, and may be weaker or stronger than anticipated if the goblin fails to retain control. Favorite classes are Samurai, Samalake, Tech Knight, Fighter, and Monk. Rare classes are Dynamic Spellbinder, Exemplar, Magical Girl Guy, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. Then we have the Dampier. Another one I can just briefly go through. Half vampire, half human. Which is considered also a sub-race for D&D.
Is anybody interested in vampire?
Dampier.
Oh, sorry, Dampier. Alright, I guess you can just skip it then.
I'll just go with their preferred classes still. Hunter, Magical Girl Guy, Ninja, Ranger, and Rogue. Rare classes are Pet Monster Trainer, Warder, and Cleric. Then we have the Effigy. As highly resilient machine folk, effigies were the product of dwarf, hod, and slime ingenuity. In the early years of the Soulstar War, they were a successful effort to counter Zumuk's drone slights and his manipulation of Nox. Metal effigy frames protect their crystal hearts, deflecting attacks and bearing ward runes against transformation. Innate effigy armor is particularly effective against arrows and other piercing weapons. Ancient design flaw leaves most vulnerable to lightning, even in the 5th Age. They Preferred classes are Adventurer, Psionicist, Tech Knight, Paladin, and Wizard. Rare classes are Exemplar, Shadow Warrior, and Rogue. Then we have the Faceted. Large humanoid folk of earth and crystal. The Faceted claim that Zinder crafted them personally in the time before the Dawn Age. Travelers will not find many faceted homes without a small altar dedicated to him. Faceless faceted can be found in every corner of Falstavia, serving as pillars of light and stability wherever they settle. Most have curving lines embedded in their rock-like skin, as if carved into it. Favorite classes are Bender, Exemplar, Warder, Cleric, and Fighter. Rare classes are Ninja, Psionicist, and Warlock. Then we have the Karaki. They are humanoid cephalopods who share cosmetic similarities to octopuses. Their 8 limbs function as 6 arms and 2 legs on the surface with tentacle fingers at the end of each. All are effective for grappling and movement underwater. Like other sentient aquans, they can function without difficulty on the surface in their natural element. They are perceptive and swift, though often withdrawn. Many Karaki are passionate merchants and scholars who trade knowledge as readily as coin. Preferred classes are Broker, Dynamic Spellbinder, Maker, Psionicist, Monk, and Wizard. Rare is Isekai Student, Pet Monster Trainer, and Bard. Then we have the Lorelei. They are cousin folk to the Dawn Elves who are equally comfortable in water and air. They typically wear their hair long to complement their elegant and dexterous tails and favor tattooing their fair skin with designs that evoke aspects of their native tribe. Lorelei draw many of their abilities from water and can instinctively detect nearby sources. They make sparse, comfortable homes on the shores of seas, lakes, and large rivers outside Quesia and Sagaria. Such communities tend to remain small, numbering hundreds of residents. Most are content with their 7th century lifespans, and those who desire more can acquire Dawn Elf immortality from their relatives. They favor Bender, Dynamic Spellbinder, Magical Girl Guy, Warder, and Sorcerer. The rare classes are Broker, Shadow Warrior, and Barbarian. What was that?
What?
I heard somebody chime in.
I said wow.
I heard what? Not wow.
Oh, I said wow. I said weird.
Then we had the Manti. Strong, intelligent insect folk capable of multitasking to a degree no others can match. Manti thrive in regions that others abandon. They can make homes anywhere from Anakanto's most peaceful cities to Aminasia's deadliest steppes, with 4 arms, enormous eyes, and great antennae that allow them to handle twice the sensory output of most other folk. Manti adapt to any environment with breathable air. Most manti communities play as hard as they work.
Ooh. That was the manti?
Yep. Mantis people. Mantai. Preferred classes are Pet Monster Trainer, Strider, Shadow Warrior, Barbarian, and Druid. Rare is Isekai Student, Tech Knight, and Paladin. Then we have the Nuki.
Nuki? Whoa, what is that?
Nuki are fast, agile humanoids with similarities to badgers, ferrets, and raccoons. They range from 2 to 3 feet tall and from 20 to 40 pounds. Their phenomenal agility and perception compensate for their relative physical vulnerability. Nuki share the Kodama's natural talent for exorcism, though their methods differ. Gregarious and communal. For the most part, Nuki flock to urban life, though sizable rural communities exist in the wilds of Mizibia and Nagaran. Preferred classes are Broker, Dynamic, Spellbinder, Exemplar, Ninja, and Rogue. Rare classes are Samurai, Tech Knight, and Barbarian. Then we have the one that I was having trouble describing, the Okabe.
Okabe.
In their natural state, Okabe resemble hairless, smooth-featured humans, but in every color of the rainbow, and several others as well. The stereotype of Okabe in other dimensions is of the spy and infiltrator. The worlds that are recognized that there's a spelling error there. That shape changers can do so much more. On Fostavia, Okabe are actors, detectives, explorers, healers, nobles, priests, and as well as spies. They can be found in any field amongst every other folk. As a people, a notable trait is the prevalence of non-binary identity. About half change genders the way others change clothes, which is not surprising for a species to which identity is both nothing and everything. They favor adventure, bender, broker, ninja, bard, and ranger, and with rare classes of psionicist, shadow warrior, and wizard. We're almost done with these. 3 more.
Hooray.
Then we can do the classes tomorrow. Because I also need a voice break. Because all this talking. And a brain break. Because all these big words. Rainari are slender fox-like folk, legendary for their speed and charm, their tremendous agility, sharp senses, and tongues that put silver to shame. Rainari are welcome in every corner in Fostavia. Both honest and deceptive, Rainari are often hunted by their enemies, but their swift reflexes and shrinking magic make them all but impossible to catch. The Rainari's preferred classes are Broker, Isekai Student, Magical Girl or Guy, Bard, and Rogue. Rare classes are Psionicist, Samurai, and Cleric. Then we have the Ukuma. Ukuma are hardy bearfolk with the innate abilities to grow and to move small objects. With their minds, though not weaker, in warm regions they are adapted to colder climates and prefer to live in areas that suit their nature. The average Akuma is methodical due to their lower agility. Mental pursuits are just as important to Akuma as physical ones given their abilities. Preferred race classes are Psionicist, Shadow Warrior, Warder, Barbarian, and Cleric. Rare ones are Ninja, Tech Knight, and Rogue. And we have the last one, the Yokai. More accurately defined in Nihatis as Henge, or the transformed, yokai are survivors of goblinism. They were too strong-willed or virtuous for Nox to dominate, thus gaining or enduring mutations. Yokai, therefore, come in a wide variety of forms, lingering alienation inhibits their ability to influence others, but has no effect on their morality. Most yokai are fierce foes of the Nox, no matter what lands they call home. Their preferred races or classes: Hunter, Psionicist, Samurai, Fighter, and Wizard. Rare are Magical Girl, Guy, Pet Monster Trainer, and Bard. We'll do part 2 tomorrow because my throat's starting to hurt.
Too much throat work for Jake.
I have to get 18 points of defects for my character. I got decent stats.
We'll both, Devin, since you have access to the PDF, I'd say after we go through the classes tomorrow, you and I both try to read through the rules, and then in like a week or two, we can all meet together and try to go through like the rules and stuff, as much as that makes it easier for everybody to understand.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Like with the point system and stuff like that. That's what I mean.
I'll need help with that.
But, Devin, if you want, I only have one extra copy of the full Stavia book. I have 2 of them. I can bring it to you when I pick up Caitlin for Twin Cities Con if you want a copy of it. To help with the campaign you're making, because it has all the world stuff in it, and like a map of all the continents, and it's not
I
available.
think it's probably a good idea.
I'm picking up Caitlin. Let's see. I have to ask the person doing the schedule if I can get the 7th off of November, but that's when I plan to go pick her up. Because the convention's from the 8th to the 10th. Yep.
Oh, sick.
I'm hoping they announce a lot more people that I care to meet, because right now there's only like 2 or 3.
Is Brian Boitano there?
Brian Posehn.
I was asking about the Olympic skater Brian Boitano. You know, what will Brian Boitano do? So it's a South Park joke. Come on.
I probably would have given you the look of what the hell are you talking about if I hadn't seen the movie with you just recently.
Yeah. Exactly. What would Brian Boitano do when he had to face the giant crab? I don't know the words, but I know the tune.
Oh, before I get a copyright strike from you singing from South Park.
Oh, that wasn't even 30 seconds.
But I know you, and you could easily go further. You go on singing rants. If anybody watched other than those that are part of the stream, thank you for watching. We'll go through the classes tomorrow. We could probably do around same time, 11 o'clock-ish. If that's okay with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
David, I have a proposition for our characters for both days.
11 o'clock sounds good.
And that is that we're gonna be rivals.
Super down.
Yes.
Oh no, just pulling up YouTube. They already recommended a Terrifier 3 video with spoilers in it.
Oh no.
No, that's was a little girl.
What we should do is after we do our review, let's watch that review and just take notes and see what we like and see what we don't like. And we could be like, we should add that to our reviews or not. Something we can switch it up this time. But I'll tell you that when I see you later today.
But you can probably join us for the classes tomorrow. Trying to think. We'll be reviewing Terrifier 3 on Monday. No D&D again next week. And join us for the first 15 episodes of the Skypiea arc of One Piece on Thursday at 10 o'clock.
What? I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I was. I was just testing everyone in the chat. All 0 people in the chat.
And everybody here, if you want to come join us for One Piece, you're more than welcome to. Even if you have no idea what's going on. It'll make Ski Nerd here maybe feel a little more superior.
Wow, we got one person watching the stream. That's me.
I know. But, like, tomorrow, like, I went live so everybody could come watch just to see, like, the pictures from the book. Feel free to do that tomorrow, too. But, by the one person watching, that's also in voice chat.
That was me. I already disappeared.
I know. I only know there's somebody there because you mentioned it.
Yep.